Thank you so much for meeting with us today. Could we start by talking about the Atlanta International Soccer Fest and the dates and the purpose of the event?
The Atlanta International Soccer Fest is going to be held from June 2010, starting on June 10th, with the initial launch cocktail party to be held at the World Trade Center in Atlanta. And it will go until July 11th, which is the final date of the World Cup. And on that date, we're going to be hosting a large viewing party for the final game.
What about the tournaments themselves? In other words, can individual companies field teams?
Our celebration actually, and Irene, you can jump in because Irene Bailey and Derek Jackson are board members of the South African American Chamber and are spearheading our team on the World Cup. They have put together a large team of about 30 people from different organizations, including other bilateral chambers, SOS Children's Village, World Trade Center Atlanta, and it's going to basically be in a couple of stages, the fest. So there'll be an initial opening cocktail party, then there will be the soccer tournament, and that will be on June
12th and 13th.
June 12th and 13th are the final dates for that. And at that fest, that tournament, the bilateral chambers will be fielding teams, and there'll be an opportunity for businesses to submit teams, other private groups.
So the interesting thing to me is that real people can actually play soccer.
Absolutely, and that's
Right.
the goal of this, is to give the largest diversity of international people, whether Americans who are looking to mix with the international community or people here who are in Atlanta from other countries. This gives everybody an opportunity to come together around the celebration of soccer, which is an international sport, and to mix and meet and get involved.
Are there some hidden soccer stars out there that we don't know about?
Definitely, and they're all in the South African team.
In other words, they will pay an entry fee, and the entry fee will be donated to SOS Villages.
Correct. One of the goals of this enterprise, this initiative, is to benefit SOS Children's Village. So we're very key strategic partners with the excellent work that they do, and I know that they have villages in South Africa. So this is a great opportunity to show our support for the work that they do, and we hope to raise significant funds to assist their work.
SOS has been around for 60 years, originated in Austria right after World War II, and has spread through Europe and from there throughout the world. There are currently 500 villages in 132 countries, a large presence in Africa in particular. We have over 100 villages in Africa, along with medical facilities, schools, community outreach programs, but a very strong presence also in Europe, and actually in the US we have 3 villages, 2 in Chicago and 1 in Fort Lauderdale. The partnership with the South African Chamber has started here in Atlanta through our volunteer committee for SOS, which is basically a group of professionals who are passionate about the mission of SOS, which is to provide homes and families for orphan and neglected children. And there were some introductions made, and there's a natural fit with SOS Children's Villages in South Africa because we have 9 villages there currently, have numerous schools there, and so many members of the South African Chamber of Commerce were already familiar with the organization. So we've struck up a partnership here in Atlanta and have since been doing a lot of joint outreach, which the Atlanta International Soccer Fest is one of those outreach initiatives.
What is the Atlanta office? Is there a specific mission for the Atlanta office?
Actually, there's no particular office here in Atlanta. We have our national office in Washington, D.C., and have offices, or villages, I should say, facilities in Chicago, 2 in Chicago and 1 in Fort Lauderdale. Here in Atlanta, we have a group of volunteers, which I'm the president of that volunteer initiative. And though we are working closely with the national office in D.C., we mainly facilitate outreach. We build networks for SOS here in Atlanta. We do some fundraising, but for the most part, friend raising. So it's a matter of creating awareness for the organization.
So everybody in Atlanta are volunteers?
Everybody in the group are volunteers, and we are now between the Atlanta International Soccer Fest, which is very much involved with SOS, and our regular committee and advisory board members. We are up to 40 now, 40 individuals who are supporting the organization, and those are all professionals from all walks of life, many members of chambers and other business organizations. But basically the mission of this group is to support SOS in their work and outreach here in Atlanta. I'm also a product of SOS Children's Villages. I grew up in an SOS village in Germany, and so I have a very close connection to the organization, but the introduction to the South African Chamber has come recently through Toni and Derek.
Could you talk a little bit about what SOS meant to you as a child?
Sure.
How it helped shape your life?
Sure. Well, I entered SOS when I was 2 years old. My sister and I both are from Senegal, and were placed in an SOS village in Germany, which isn't quite typical, but usually children are kept in their communities. Our story is a long one, but I grew up there from the time I was 2 until adulthood, and am a direct product of what the organization does, which is basically provide long-term care for either orphaned or neglected children. There are a lot of social orphans who are part of the organization who are placed, but the unique part of SOS is that children are kept in one household, in one family home, together with their siblings, their natural biological siblings, and form a new family with other SOS children. And so you typically have 10 to 15 homes per village, and the setup is really family style, and you stay in that facility or in that home until you're old enough to go on with life on your own. And SOS has done a lot for me besides raising me in this family style setting. They have also provided excellent education. They have sent me overseas to the US and other places to earn my degrees, my university degrees, all the way through graduate school. Everything was paid for.